What is good, YouTube? It's your boy 50K Clay back here tapped in with yet another video, man. Today, man, we got to talk about the topic at hand. Something that's really big in hip hop right now. A lot of people are debating it. It's a very, very controversial take. Listen, man, Lil Yachty, as y'all can see from the title of the video, man, Lil Yachty was on PlaqueBoy Max's stream the other night with him and the Concrete Boys. If y'all don't know, PlaqueBoy Max is this big streamer, big gamer turned streamer turned essentially like engineer and producer. So he brings artists on his stream and they'll make a song from scratch on his stream. And a lot of people are really liking that. I had a friend that personally told me he's tapped into every, I think he's called In the Booth or whatever. Every streamer rapper episode with Packboy Max, man, and a lot of people really like seeing the process of how a song comes together, the ad libs, the how the verse is made. Is it freestyle? Is it punched in? However it is. So Lil Yachty, I believe he's done one of these before. I know he's affiliated with a lot of Twitch streamers, which is gonna be a topic that we come back to. Um, so Lil Yachty and his crew came in and they did one of these songs, and in it, Yachty says some very, very offensive lyrics, specifically pertaining to the death of George Floyd. So let's get into the lyrics, man. What does he say specifically?
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. ITSUS, I'm finna go break the bank for it. Put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd.
Put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd. Now, I think hip hop is built on controversy. Hip hop is built on daring. Hip hop is built on taking risk and saying stuff that sometimes gonna piss people off. And I think that kind of just goes hand in hand with the nature of the genre. It's kind of a genre of rebellion. It's a self expression, and it kind of reflects what the people, specifically black people, are going through. A lot of these things that rappers say in their lines, a lot of it is braggadocio. A lot of it is vulgar, to say the least. And but I think kind of those are the roots of hip hop. Hip hop is basically a genre that's built on rebellion and saying what you want and being a sense of free expression. But I feel like back in the day, artists were a little bit more mindful, and I see a lot of people saying that, well, Yachty mentioned Columbine. A lot of people mentioned Columbine. I think Kendrick Lamar mentioned Columbine in the song with Ab-Soul. He said,
if I ever go Columbine, the cop 39s and cock back and kill.
So yeah, rappers are no stranger to talking about controversial lyrics, having controversial lyrics in their songs pertaining to real life events. Lil Wayne mentioned Emmett Till in one of his songs, and I think he got a lot of flack for that, and I think it was warranted. Just like in this case here, while hip hop is a genre of self-expression, because the roots of hip hop are ingrained in black culture, I think artists are a lot more mindful to be delicate when they approach these sensitive subjects, and certainly more delicate than Yachty was when he approached it here. I think Lil Yachty and Lil Wayne, like I said, Lil Wayne mentioned Emmett Till in one of his songs, and he also has a very controversial text about the Black Lives Matter movement as well. With these two artists in particular, these two specific artists, they come from different backgrounds, so to speak, but they have commonality in the aspect that they were brought into the spotlight at a very young age. Now, Lil Wayne, for example, he was basically groomed by Cash Money and the Hot Boys to become the next superstar. He was the youngest member of the Hot Boys. He invented the phrase bling bling. When Wayne came on the scene with the Hot Boys, probably around like 12, 13, 14 years old, ever since he became accustomed to that lifestyle, it's no looking back. Since he was 12, 13, and 14, he hasn't understood the life of a normal person. He doesn't really understand the trials and tribulations that black people will go through on an everyday basis, because that's simply not his life. That's not what he's experienced. Now you can say, yeah, he's had these experiences from when he was younger, when so much of your formulative, I think that's the right word, your formative years are spent in the spotlight, going from tour bus to tour bus, hotel to hotel, girl to girl. You're not really going to have the same experiences as the average man, let alone the average teenager. So I feel like both Lil Yachty and Lil Wayne are kind of alienated from traditional black culture. ASAP Rocky caught flack for saying a similar thing. He was basically saying, I'm not tapped in with the Black Lives Matter movement. That's not my life. I'm in here, I'm in London. I'm not going to say exactly how he phrased it, but it was a quote in an interview, and somebody quoted him as saying, "Man, Black Lives Matter. That's just not my reality." And he was very blunt about it, but he caught a lot of flack from that back on Twitter. I probably say it was around like 2015, 2016. And while it may hurt a lot of people to hear, that was really just his reality. He's isolated, he's alienated from what the average black person goes through on a daily basis. Now, that doesn't necessarily excuse him from basically being apathetic towards the Black Lives Matter movement, apathetic towards the plight of black people. But yeah, he's just stated in a matter of fact way, like, this is just my life. I'm not seeing what y'all are seeing on a daily basis because I'm over here doing my thing, just doing whatever he's doing. And he caught a lot of flack for that, so much so that he went on the Breakfast Club to try to clear it up. He said this:
I want to make music. I want to inspire. I want to promote peace. Because at a time like this, I don't have all the answers. I'm not trying to run for Congress. I'm not trying to run for office. I want to promote prosperity, especially for black people, especially for just young people, ambitious people, underprivileged.
But yeah, just to circle back to Lil Yachty, he kind of faces the same kind of struggle as Lil Wayne. We got to remember where Lil Yachty is from. Not even just being from Atlanta, but his background, has his origin, his come up. He was basically a SoundCloud artist that blew up when he was like 17, 18. So a lot of his formative years have been spent in the spotlight, growing up in the public eye, failing, making mistakes, losing friends, um, rebuilding, coming back with a new crew. One thing that I can commend Yachty for is constantly knowing how to get attention for himself. And a lot of people are saying that's what it was, but at the same time, I feel like it's that, but at the same time, it's just like ignorance. Lil Yachty is ignorant to the plight of regular black Americans because he doesn't necessarily experience the same kind of lifestyle that the average person does. And he hasn't since he was about 17 or 18 years old. So combine that with kind of already going up with the middle class black family. Maybe I can't really speak for his parents or whatnot, but I know mine groomed me with a sense of like understanding and awareness of the struggle of black people and how we came up and how we came to be. That might not have been the case for Yachty. And it's not the case for everybody. It's certainly not the case for every black person. But I can imagine that's kind of the background that Lil Yachty's coming from, where, his parents didn't kind of raise him to understand what's really going on in the culture. So when he gets big and he blows up, incidents like this occur, as well as just regular incidents of kind of growing up and becoming a man and growing up and becoming a person in society in front of the public's eye. So for better or worse, and we've seen Yachty already in a lot of different phases of his young life, We've seen him with the red hair, red cornrows era, being skinny to going all the way to being fat, to having a kid, to being with Drake. And a lot of times, rightfully so, Yachty is criticized for kind of being a little standoffish, being a little bit of a dick, as we kind of saw with his friend and his co-star Mitch.
And for many years, what you spent a lot of time trying to find your steps.
Right.
Right, but so
That's my point.
No. Imagine if you didn't have a friend who's already extremely successful to help you get on your feet. A lot of people don't have that. So what I'm saying is, what do you say? Because you didn't want to get a job. I never even suggested you get a job because I knew you wouldn't get a job.
Where in an interview with Key Glock, he was basically berating him in front of the guests, in front of the production team, saying that you're a bum. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have no life. And same thing with him and Caribou. Man, I did this for you. Why are you not grateful and stuff like that? So we've seen Yachty fail in the public eye numerous times. And honestly, I would really attribute this to being another one of those failures. First of all, it's ignorant to say. It's an ignorant line. which is understandable. I think a lot of bars in hip hop can be fun and be ignorant at the same time, but it's a level of awareness you have, especially when speaking to this audience. So not only is the bar ignorant, but it's also misogynistic at the same time, which okay, hip hop more or less has always been dominated by the patriarchy and having misogynistic lyrics and songs. Hopefully y'all seen my video about streamers. The video is gonna be right here. Y'all can watch it. Let me know what y'all think. Give me some feedback on that. But basically, I was saying that streamers are becoming the new rappers, and within that, the landscape of the genre has shifted. No longer are artists gonna go to the Breakfast Club or Funk Flex or Hot 97, where they're gonna be grilled by like a seasoned journalist, somebody who's did this a million times before. Nah, they gonna go on stream with Lil PlaqueBoy Max from Jersey, suburban kid, where they can basically flex their muscles, show their ability, and basically kind of, manipulate, bully them to a certain extent. We saw what went on with Cardi and Aiden Ross.
All right, nice to officially meet you. We got 500,000 people watching. This is the camera right here. They're waiting for you for 2 hours, bro. They love you so much, bro. And
I love you.
A few minutes later.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. Back to the studio. 2024 music.
you leave right now?
Yeah.
All right, hold on, let me mute real quick.
We saw what went on with Lil Baby and Lil Jack Doherty.
My chain while he was performing and like didn't give it back. Like, he had my chain, bro. Like, what the you guys aren't getting away with what? Yo, that's crazy if you think she's taking my $200,000 chain. Bro, I need my chain, bro. Bro, I need my chain, bro.
We saw what went on with Lil Baby and PlaqueBoy Max.
You white or black? Stop playing with me, nigga. I'm black, nigga.
You keep saying nigga, cause then every time you say something, you just sound so white. You like,
Hold on. Slow down. Nothing wrong with a black nigga talking proper, bro.
Rappers are basically now skipping going on a radio station promo run, and they're going straight to streamers where they can directly engage with their audience one-to-one in real time, get feedback, all of that. Some artists are gonna keep that that original hip-hop journalistic radio press run intact. We just seen the clips, and even Chance the Rapper I'm paying attention to, JID, they went on a traditional journalistic podcast type of album rollout, and they doing interviews and stuff like that. But with the newer artists, they're recognizing, like, bro, I don't want to be asked about no weird ass questions from Charlemagne. I don't want to have to answer the Ebro about the state of the culture of hip hop. I don't know. I don't care. We even saw a rapper named Baby Chief Do It go on the radio and admit that I don't even write my lyrics. I let ChatGPT do it for me.
I ain't gonna lie, I just be having shit on my to get off my chest, you feel me?
ChatGPT probably wrote that for you.
Yeah, bullshit. I just downloaded that 2 days ago. I didn't know that shit worked so well. I've been using that shit to write my lyrics, real shit.
Word, ChatGPT?
Hell yeah, that shit worked.
With that, I just say that the guard is shifting. The barrier for entry is shifting. And somebody like Lil Yachty, he's very smart. One thing about it, he might not be smart in terms of book smart or whatever.
I mean that you and your fellows. My new bitch yellow, she blow that dick like a cello.
New bitch yellow, she blow that dick like a cello. Okay, let's stop for a second. Before you come at me, I'm gonna let you know, okay? I guess for a second, I thought a cello was a woodwind instrument, and it is not, okay? And nobody ever said shit, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever, hey man, I don't know if nobody ever put up a picture and said, hey man, I don't know if you know what this is, but it ain't that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? I'm fucked up. I thought Squidward played the cello.
But it sound good. Talk to me about
But he's very calculated and manipulative, and I might even attribute that from having a lot of industry experience. But I think somebody in the same kind of boat of being able to use people and know when you can benefit from them, he probably been kicking a lot around Drake. He picked up a thing or two from Drake. So, and just kicking it with a lot of streamers and stuff like that. We haven't seen Drake do a traditional interview. Um he's going on stream with these little white kids and shit. They asking him which you like titties, what's your favorite preference or whatever or something like that. I'll put the clip right here. Boom.
What do you want to see? Like, what makes your cock hard? Like, what do you want to see? What would really just
Big
know what I'm
naturals.
talking about? Yeah,
Big naturals.
What?
All of the norms in the past from hip hop is kind of changing. Like I was saying, Drake, the biggest artist in the game in hip hop, arguably only second to Kendrick Lamar. He's not done a traditional promo run in how many years? He doesn't need to. Why would he go be asked 50 million questions about his integrity and how the state of hip hop when he can just kick it on stream with these little white streamers and not have to feel the pressure. He's just chilling. I think he has engagements in stake, so that's pretty much he obligated to do it for a check. But even Kendrick Lamar, he's not going to Hot 97. He's not going to the Breakfast Club. He's going to Vanity Fair for interviews. And he's not interviewing with a traditional journalist. He's interviewing with SZA, one of his cohorts, the person that was co-headlining his tour with him. So the rules of engagement for hip hop has changed. And I think we're seeing a reflection of that even being played out with this Lil Yachty situation. When I say that Yachty has to be mindful of his audience and who he's speaking to, PlaqueBoy Max, even streaming in general, PlaqueBoy, but specifically this PlaqueBoy Max character. Who is he? He's a dude from Jersey. I think a big portion of his audience is white teenagers, maybe white college kids. The majority of his listeners, viewers, watchers, all of that are gonna be white kids. So when he says a disrespectful line about George Floyd to this specific audience, he has no idea. I'm just thinking Yachty's ignorant. He's smart in other ways. He's smart in being calculated. But in this regard, being a suburban kid, I just think he's kind of ignorant to the fact that when he says these specific lines, bro, you have a voice. You have a platform. Millions of followers. You got your own shoe with Nike, multiple shoes with Nike. So when you say disrespectful lines like this about George Floyd, and I think, it makes me feel hurt that he would say that and that he would say that in front of this specific audience. I think it's a thing where you hold these artists, I'm a fan of Lil Yachty, somewhat, kind of. I listen to Lil Yachty for sure. He got bars. I really respect how he's unafraid to experiment with his music, to try new things. I think he's definitely talented. But I think I was gonna say I was disappointed in Lil Yachty. I was kind of disappointed. But if you don't hold these people in such high regard and expect them to be good people, I guess expect the bare minimum out of these people. When I say these people, I mean stars, regardless of wherever they're affiliated, is being movie stars or rappers or influencers. When you don't expect them to understand and stand for something, man, he's just a rapper. He just da. You can't get disappointed. You can't be as disappointed. So, for somebody like Lil Yachty who grew up with the camera in his face, he never really had to learn. He never really had to be accountable. He never really had to understand the plight of black people, and he definitely doesn't touch about that in his music. I can't be disappointed when he does something like this. When he disappoints me when he says such a ignorant and stupid line like he did. So, I think this just goes to show how hip hop is changing, how hip hop is morphing into what it's going to be in the future. A lot more streamers, as people start blowing up when they're younger, thanks to this internet age, anybody at any age can just put out music, regardless of however old they are. When you understand that, then you're going to understand these people they're not going to really get it. Their minds haven't fully developed. They didn't really grow up in these traditional environments where hip hop was taught as much, or black culture was taught as much, our history wasn't taught as much, then they're gonna come out and say these kind of things. You know, even remember back in like 2020, Meek Mill had a cold ass song. I can't even find that song nowhere, but it was hard. He had a hard ass line. But he said, if I'm going out with my chop, I'll be another Kobe. I can't find that song to this day. It's with Lil Baby, and it was hard as hell. If anybody know what song I'm talking about, make sure you please link that song in the comments, because that was a hard ass song. But anyway, I just say that to say that Meek Mill got a lot of flack from that song too. I think even Vanessa Bryant, the wife of Kobe Bryant, told Meek Mill specifically, hey, I don't like that song. Can you delete it? Can you get rid of it? And they got scrubbed from all aspects of the internet. But it was a dope ass song though. It really begs the question, what is and what is not allowed in hip hop? What's cool and what's not? Meek Mill said he going out with his chopper to be another Kobe. You know, that's not technically allowed because Kobe Bryant was held in such a high regard in the black community. But I feel like this specific instance with Lil Yachty and his George Floyd line, I think this is kind of pushing it a little bit. And I don't want to sound like, oh, back in my day, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, that Emmett Till line with Lil Wayne and stuff like that, when you start stomping on the graves of people of your ilk for the entertainment of mass white audiences, now you start looking like a coon. You start looking like a fool. You start looking like you tap dancing for the white man. And I don't think Lil Yachty is one of those, but I just think he's ignorant. And I think he really needs to do a little bit of more self-reflection. And I think he needs to be mindful of the places he goes and what he talks about in his lyrics. You know, maybe this will inspire Lil Yachty to be more introspective, be more mindful about our history and what he says in his songs and the amount of influence that he has. You know, people have been hooked on Lil Yachty, especially recently with his shoe collabs. He has one of the most fire shoes with Nike out right now, period. So hopefully this will inspire him to be more mindful of the type of stuff that he puts out. And maybe even in the future, we'll hear an album where he's going into his conscious bag. So that's my thoughts on the subject. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Be sure to comment below. Make sure to like the video as well. I thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button as well, because we are on the way to 1,000 subs. So I appreciate y'all for watching thus far. Just keep growing with me. And yeah, we out.
They wanna share my life. They wanna share my life. All my shine, I give you the light.